All right, so just about 30 seconds to go, and the time is now 1:30. Okay, so let me share my screen now with my slides on before we get started. Awesome. Okay, so I'm Coach JJ, certified trainer for the past 10 years. So I've been in this line coaching many different clients, all right, mostly on fat loss. So most of them will come to me, JJ, I want to lose weight. How can I lose weight? So then I'll tell them a couple of things, get them moving, get them started. And throughout this 10 years of my experience, I found, quite common patterns in why people lose weight and why people don't lose weight. Okay, so we're going to look into some of this stuff today when we talk about the topic of ways to increase metabolism. All right, so then some of you will say, JJ, I have slow metabolism, right? So I hear a lot of clients say that slow metabolism, I can't seem to lose weight. I'm eating so little and yet I'm not losing weight. Why, JJ? Help me, help me. So then I tell them couple of things that we're going to learn today. So here, number one question, everybody, I just want you to take a look and type it in the chat, and let's see whether you know the answer to this. So for the general population like you and me, okay, we're not talking about athletes, we're not talking about people with perhaps some immune disease or, thyroid problems, just talking about general population. How many percent of your daily calorie expenditure comes from exercise? How many? A, B, or C? Yeah. Let's type that in and see how many of you can get this right. All right, so this is very crucial because once you understand this main concept right here on the first slide, all right, what you start to realize is that exercise only accounts for that amount of expenditure throughout your 24 hours of the day. So then what else is there when we look at metabolism? Okay, well, we have A, B, and C, all the different answers coming out. Okay, all right, let's move on to the next slide. Okay, all right, let's take a look here. Okay, wait, let me just remove that line. Clear all drawings. Okay, good. Nice. So here we have it. The answer, as you can see right there on the pie chart, it is A. Okay, so physical activity is divided into two parts. One, it's where we move. Like right now, I'm talking to you. I'm moving my mouth. I'm blinking. I'm moving my hands here and there. I'm leaning back and forth. So these are all considered activity, right? Physical activity. Okay. As I'm moving around, as you're sitting down, your posture, just sitting down without you falling over off the chair, that is also considered physical activity, right? So holding a plank into a staying in the seated position or standing up, these are all considered physical activity. And exercise is structured physical activity. So structured meaning there are reps and sets, there's a time involved, an hour or even a minute in between sets, you get the rest time and you go again, and you know that you got to do 20 reps before you can take a short break. So that is called structured activity. Okay, so structured activity is very important for your body to adapt and get stronger, whereas non-structured activity, has got different other benefits such as mood relieving, stress relieving, enhancing your mood, improving insulin sensitivity, all different kind of stuff that you may not be able to track very well, but it does help your body. Okay, so all this physical activity adds up to about 15 to 30% only, and that is not a lot. So we look at exercise, it's only about 5 to 20%. So for those who answered A, you got it right. And now we want to look at the rate portion right there on the thermic effect of food. So when food goes in and you start chewing, right? So that's under physical activity. But once it goes down into the tummy, and what happens here to digest the food is about 10%. And that is a lot. So if you're not eating much, you're losing out on that calorie expenditure as well. Try to eat regular meals also. Okay, so there are many different types of dieting, but that will be done and covered in the topic on nutrition. So today I just want to focus on fitness. And when you see that green big pie right there, basil, metabolic rate, sorry. So it's resting metabolic rate, okay? So basal resting metabolic rate is about the same thing. It's 60 to 75%, and that makes up a huge majority portion of your metabolism, okay? Or we say your daily calorie expenditure. So what happens there in that 60 to 75%? Basically, it keeps you alive. Your heart is beating, your lungs are breathing. You don't have to think, oh, I have to breathe, right? You just breathe. So what happens there? You know, the lungs are moving. All these are muscles. Heart is a muscle, the lung is a muscle, and digestion going on, you know, different immune system functions going on through the body, recovery of the muscles are happening. So many, many, many different chemical reactions that's happening in the body takes up calories. And that will account for the maximum, okay, so like the majority already of your daily calorie expenditure. So that green part right there, can it be changed? Well, let's see. Let's go on to the next one. Okay, so let's look at thermic effect of food. So digestion uses calories, and not all macronutrients are digested equally, okay? So protein takes about 20 to 30% to be digested. Carbs, 5 to 10%. Fat, very little. So fat goes in straight away. You don't need much work. It gets stored in the body, or it gets used up in the body as energy. Okay, so carbs, you have got a bits of fiber coming in. You know, you eat complex carbs and grains, so that would be about 10%. If you eat like, you know, processed food, you have got refined sugars going in. You have got your flour going in. Flour products like bread, like, you know, rotis and stuff, that's about 5%. And protein, hard to chew fibers, okay, so about 30%. And then of course you have your protein shakes, which are more liquid in nature, or like say like egg whites, soft boiled eggs, so that takes a lot faster to digest, so that's about 20 to 30%. So protein, one of the highest. So if you take in 100 calories, for example, you only ingest about 70 to 80, okay, amount of calories. And which one? All right, so there's a question right there at the bottom. So which one will you eat more of, considering its benefits, nutrition value? Satiety effect is a huge thing. So what types of food that you eat, you feel full, okay? That's very important, because when you talk about balancing out your calorie intake versus your calorie expenditure, one of the factors that determines it, it's how full you feel. All right, if you feel hungry, you're going to eat more. It's simple as that. Okay, so nobody likes to go hungry. Nobody. We all want to feel satisfied, and it can last us for a duration of time until our next meal. So when we feel hungry, you know, focus, we start to lose focus, we start to feel a little bit jittery, we start to feel cold, you know, if you're in an aircon room. So a lot of stuff happens when you are hungry, and nobody likes that. Okay, so hunger is not a bad thing, it's just a reaction of the body telling you, hey, I need to eat something, give me something to eat. Okay, so good, so we're just going to move on to the next one. Protein, definitely the highest quality that you can get. So when you exercise, you know, your demand of protein increases. Make sure you have enough. More details will be shared in your nutrition topics on how much to eat and all that. So I think it's going to be an hour long if I dwell into this. So let's just move on and get into the fitness part of it. And we're going to talk about exercise. So how can you burn more calories or increase your metabolism when exercising? So when I say increase your metabolism, it means increase your calorie expenditure. Okay, so another thing about metabolism, all right, you see that green pie chart there, that 60 to 75%. Can it be increased? I tell you, it can be. Okay, so how do you want to do that? By increasing muscle mass. So when you look at these big giant guys, all right, the strong men who have got loads of muscle, how much do they eat a day just to maintain their weight and not let it drop, right? So you look at bodybuilders, we're talking about extremes here. So it's not something that we should follow, but just looking at them gives us a pattern of how we understand, you know, food and demand, all right? So these big guys here, they're eating about 3,000 or more. You know, 5,000, look at elite athletes, you know, you have heard Michael Phelps' diet, you've seen The Rock eat, and they're eating insane amounts just to stay at their weight. But how much muscle do they have, or how much physical activity do they do in a day, or how fit are they? They're competing at that highest level of human performance, and that's what they need, right, to get in, so then they can perform daily at their best, and also to recover from the exercise that stresses them out. Okay, so eating helps to relieve this stress, helps with recovery. And calories are burned when you increase muscle activity. Okay, so for example, when you do a squat versus a squat jump, this two looks like the same thing, but which one would then burn more? Definitely a squat jump is going to burn more, because it's going to lift you off the ground, whereas a squat, you're just standing up and down, right? Just like sitting on a chair and you're standing up again and you're repeating it 20 times. It's not going to do much, but if you start jumping around from a squat position, it's going to burn much more. Okay, so muscle activity, the more muscle fibers are used, the more calories you burn. So that's number one. Okay, next thing is your heart rate. So when you are increasing your heart rate, you get more blood circulation. Okay, you're sending oxygen and you're breathing out carbon dioxide. You are increasing your calorie expenditure. So here's the tip here. To increase it, you have to get fitter. Okay, so how many of you have, doing this, right? So different questions here. It's about, just reflecting on it, see, what you have done or what you have not done. Okay, so answer these questions honestly. Does your workout feel like an hour of warm-up? Okay, so day in, day out, let's say, for the past year or so, I know I've seen it in the gym. When I look at a regular there, he or she is constantly doing the same thing over and over again. I know that at 10 reps, that person is going to stop and put down the weights. And I know the next exercise he or she is going to do. So that routine, the body adapts to it. And when the body adapts to it, it's very efficient at using up calories. Okay? So comparing, let's say me, a person who runs versus my wife, okay? A person who doesn't run, and we run the same distance, who would burn more calories? Considering we are both the same weight, okay? Both the same weight, running the same distance, same height, who would burn more calories? Just type it in. Me, a runner, or my wife, who is not a runner? Just type it in the chat so we can see whether you understand this concept about who is fitter, who burns more calories. We run the same amount of distance, same speed. So should we run side by side? Okay, we run side by side. Who burns more? Good job. Well done. All right. Okay, whoever says it's my wife, you got it right. You got it right. Okay, my wife would burn more calories. Why? Because she hasn't been conditioned to run. And she's now running same speed as me for the same distance, even though it's same height, same. Okay, so all factors considering the same. The only factor is that a non-runner versus a non-runner would burn more calories. Why? Because her technique is not good. Her running form definitely is not conditioned. Whereas me, I'm a conditioned runner, so I'm very efficient in my steps. Okay, so now you have a different mindset. Hey, JJ, I'm doing my workouts day in, day out, and then I get so used to it, and up to a point, I stop burning a lot. So what do I need to do, right? So those of you that say, right, my wife burns more, yeah, that's true. Okay, let's move on to the next question. So how much did your heart rate increase, and for how long? Okay, so heart rate increase. When you have your fitness watch, so remember, National Step Challenge is coming up October, I think season 6. So you have no excuse that you do not have a tracker. Go get it. Okay, it's free of charge. Just register and then go collect it. Okay, so heart rate, track it. So did it go up? All right, did it spike? No, how much did it spike? Is it reaching your maximum heart rate or close to it? Are you aiming for about an 80 to 90% of your maximum heart rate? So these are the things that you want to always consider when you're doing high intensity interval training. Okay, and in LTW Lose to Win program that you're in right now, there's so many different varieties of program. You just want to try each and every one out, and it's good to try different ones, because the ones that you're not used to, you're gonna burn way more, and the one that you're used to is probably the ones that you like, and you keep going for them. Okay, Those ones you're burning a little less. Yep. So you always want to try different things and look at your heart rate. So let's say I'm not familiar with yoga. As you can see, I'm not a yoga person. When I start doing yoga, I'm going to burn way more, go crazy. All right. My heart rate is going to shoot up as compared to those ladies out there who are just doing it very in a Zen-like mode. Right. So for me, my heart is going insane just by holding positions. My perspiration is just flowing down the mat, and it's just amazing to watch, right? You know how different a non-conditioned person compares with someone who is already conditioned to do it. All right, collecting something for free. It's your step tracker. National Step Challenge coming up. So I believe you can find that out on the Health Promotion Board site, or even in your app. Okay. And then the next question we want to talk about is repetitions. Okay, you've done. Okay, for example, push-ups. Today, you could do 5 reps. Okay, in 1 month later, don't tell me you can still only do 5 reps, please. Okay, if you're only doing 5, again after a month maximum, you haven't improved at all. All right, so you always want to look at that improvement, up and up and up and up and up. And when you go up, you get fitter. When you go fitter, your calorie expenditure increases. All right. So in a minute, for example, you see a lot in HIIT programs, you have 20 seconds and the exercise is push-ups. Most of you would just go 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and then you lie back down on the ground. Boom, you're gone. Okay. So over the months, you see yourself getting stronger, doing more reps. Okay. So that's one, volume of exercise. Increase of your repetitions. Number 2, it's your weight. Does your weight increase? So then we talk about, JJ, my body weight, I want it to drop. Why you ask me to increase my weight, right? Okay, hold on for a moment. So when you're doing body weight, how can you determine, right? In weights, it's easy. When you go to the gym, it's easy. When you're holding 2 kg, you're lifting it up, all right? And you pick up the 4 kg, that is an increment in weight. But when we talk about body weight, how do you then determine, am I increasing my weight or not? All right, so then we look at leverage. For example, if you're able to do push-ups on your knees right now, it's much easier, okay? But now, once you start moving the push-ups onto your toes, do you feel now more weight? Do you feel now the weight increasing? Okay, so that's what we always want to play with when we're using bodyweight exercises. We do leverage. And for example, like this, I'm holding on a bottle right here close to me versus holding a bottle right here. Which one is heavier? This heavier, this heavier. Of course, this is heavier, right? Over a period of time. So leverage is really important when you do body weight exercises. So in programs, HIIT, even strength circuit programs, the coaches may give you different options, telling you which one is level 1 or the basic movement, and then level 2. So level 2 usually is the one that has got a slight change in leverage, making it harder. Okay. And let's look at the next one. Does the number of sets increase after a few workouts? So for example, now, so in high intensity interval training, again, you're able to complete 3 sets. And then you feel like, all right, I need a rest. Everybody else is still doing it, but I don't care. I need to rest. 3 sets, I'm resting. Okay. So then after a few sessions, you improve. Are you able now to do 4 sets? Are you able to do 5? Are you able to do 10? Okay. So there's no limit to, how much you can do. And wait, I just hold on. We just want to let people in first. All right, good. Okay, so there's no limit to how many sets. So most of the time people will have this mindset that, okay, I'm going to do 10 reps. I'm going to do 15 reps and I'm going to stop. But does fitness work that way? No. 10 is a number, 15 is a number. You do not have to stop at 10 or 15. You can do 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay? So most of you would stop at exactly 10. Yeah, I don't understand why. All right. So you're probably laughing at yourself as well, thinking that's what I do, right? And you sometimes say 12, and then you go 12, and then 12. All right, I'm done. So when you do it like that, your progress, you're limiting it. So always go up to the point where you feel your muscles are fatigued. and you cannot maintain your proper alignment of movement, you cannot maintain your technique, and that's when you rest. And that's more important rather than counting the reps in the head. Like, how many can I do? Is counting reps important? Yes, but what is it for? It's for tracking purposes. Okay, so today I can do 6 push-ups. 1 week later, can I do 8 push-ups? With the same form, with the same pace. And if you can, you have improved. And this is what we all want to track when we look at numbers. Okay, but besides that, don't focus on the numbers itself. Numbers are secondary priority if your aim is fat loss. Okay, and next, does your rest time decrease? Okay, so in high intensity interval training in a class, most of the time, there is this period of rest, be it 15 seconds, be it 20 seconds, 30 seconds. Okay, and if you see similar programs coming up, you have got that, for example, Tabata, 2010, 2010, 2010, 2010. You only get 10 seconds of rest, right? And that's really, really short. So at some point in time, you cannot complete, or you cannot even start after 10 seconds because you need more rest time. Okay? So over the months or over the weeks, are you able to keep the rest time strictly to 10 seconds and start right after 10 seconds? To complete another 20 seconds of work. And if you are able to, that means that your cardiovascular ability has gotten better. Okay, and that makes you fitter. Okay, and for those who are running, cycling, swimming, are you going further within the same duration? All right, so most people tell me, JJ, I ran 24 kilometers yesterday. How long did you take? Well, I took about 16 hours. I stopped in between for a coffee and a meal break and then a toilet break. And I sat down and took some pictures with my friends and I kept walking. That's not how it works, man. All right, you gotta go faster. So you're covering more distance within the same period of time. And that shows that you're fitter. Got it? All right, doing more doesn't mean you're fitter, okay? So doing more, what does it mean? You're just basically trading your time off, all right? So let's say, for example, I need to do housework today. I've got a full day of half a day of housework I need to do. But instead of that housework half a day, I'm going for my walk, 24 kilometers, 16 hours, for example. So I'm missing out on this block of calories when I'm doing housework. So that's the opportunity cost. So over the course of the day, am I still burning the same amount of calories? About there. It's about there. Okay. Walking, do housework, somewhere there, similar. Okay. Maybe a little bit, a few 100-calorie difference, but is it significant enough to show a big change in your daily calorie expenditure? No. All right. So the only way you want to do it is to get fitter. All right, last question here. Are you doing more repetitions or weights with good technique and range of motion? So this, corresponds, is very similar to the last question. So instead of running, which is a cardiovascular activity, we're talking about resistance training. Okay, so resistance training could be body weight exercises that you do on the ground in the classes, or you are going to the gym, you're lifting weights, you're lifting kettlebells, you're lifting barbells. Are you able to increase it? Are you able to get more weight up, same number of sets or more reps? Yep. And if you're able to do that, you will definitely get fitter. So all this takes time and you want to progress gradually, step by step up. Okay. It doesn't happen in one session most of the time. So what I always, give a guideline to my clients is for about every 3 sessions, you should see and improve in performance. Okay, so now a question from Violet. So what do you mean by range of motion? So range of motion means if I'm doing a push-up, for example, I'm just going to turn sideways so you can see me on the screen right here. So range of motion. So sometimes we go all the way down before we push it back up, right? So that's a full range of motion for the push-up. But then when you go onto your toes, you only do it this way. That's what I mean by range of motion. So the range of motion changes now. You can see that I'm only going a little bit right now on my toes. And then I tell my coach, hey, JJ, I can do 10 of these. I can do 10 push-ups. versus all the way down, all the way up on the knee. All right, 10 push-ups. Is there a difference? Yes, there will be a difference if you change up the range of motion. Okay, yoga. It's not that I don't like yoga. I like yoga. Yoga is really good for mobility training. Okay, it's just that for a non-conditioned individual like me who haven't done yoga or haven't experienced yoga, it's tough for me. So then I burn more calories as compared to those who are conditioned or done this for a longer period of time. So same thing here for, let's say you've done yoga for a long period of time, you move on to weights, you find that you're going to burn a lot more calories as well because it's an activity that you're not used to. So that's what I meant by using the different types of activity or workout as comparison. Okay, it's not that I favor one on top of the other. No. Okay, all workouts activities are great. Okay, all right, let's look at the next slide. Boom boom. Hey, so here, factors that affects energy expenditure during exercise. It's a couple of things that we talked about in the previous slide as well. So volume, I'm able to do more. Load, I'm able to do it heavier. Duration, I'm able to do the same thing for a longer period of time, right? If it's a time-based workout, for example, a plank, I'm able to hold it for a longer period of time, all right? Intensity, that's your reps and your weight, or either one or both increase within the same duration, okay? 20 seconds when you're doing your squat jumps, all right? Are you able to do 20 seconds? Are you able to do 20 squat jumps? If you can do 20, I'm able to do 25. When you're able to do 25, I'm able to hold on to a 5 kg weight and still do 25. If you're able to do that, you can see there's a progression now. Okay, so that's intensity. Rest period in between sets, from 20 seconds rest, I'm able to cut down 15 seconds. Or for example, you know, usually in interval training program, you have got a 1 minute exercise, right? Followed by a 20 seconds rest. Okay, so some people may choose to rest after 40 seconds. So then they have a 40-second rest. Okay, I'm able to push through that whole minute and only rest 20 seconds and then start the 1 minute again. So these are things that determine, you know, how fit you're getting. All right, so practical demonstration. I'm just going to show you a little bit on high intensity interval training and some of the things that all right, so some of the things that I commonly see in classes, okay, that will show me that this would need some form of improvement. All right, so for example, squats, all right, 20-second squats, starting in 3, 2, 1, let's go. And it's a high intensity interval training program, and the person is just going like that. Do you think the heart rate is gonna go up? No, it's never gonna go up, all right? So this is more like a warm-up. Well, I'm just loosening up my hips, okay? And then I see some of you doing this as well. So like another client coming in. All right, 20 seconds of squats. Ready? You want to go as fast as you can. 3, 2, 1, let's go. And you start doing this. So is there a range of motion? The range of motion is very limited. So the muscles worked or the muscles recruited is also quite limited, and that's when the daily calorie expenditure during this workout is going to be greatly reduced. Okay, so if you're able to do this, for example, all right, fast squats, full range of motion, just going as fast as you can, and with good technique, you can see the knees are aligned, toes are aligned. Okay, body is upright, back is straight, chest is up, going as fast as you can, going like this for 20 seconds. I tell you, I'm breathless. You're definitely going to be breathless. The heart rate is going to go up. Muscle activation is going to greatly improve. And that's when progress will happen. So you see that difference right there? Okay? How you do your workout matters. It's the same 20-second squats. It's how you do them. Okay? So you want to compare like, hey JJ, I'm not losing weight. We are all doing the same program. How come I cannot lose weight, but this person can, this person can, this person can? So you want to take note of how you're doing your workouts too. Got it? Okay, so this is just a quick demonstration on what happens. All right, so now back to the slides. Yeah. Good. All right, so I hope you get a clearer understanding on range of motion, pace, technique, okay? Muscle recruitment, how much muscle is being recruited in your workouts. And then tell me, JJ, I can't do this for an hour. And I tell you, you're absolutely right. Nobody can do this for an hour, including me, okay? Yeah, so you need to know and you need to factor in, there are perhaps 10 different exercises in a high intensity interval program. If the program is planned right, okay, if it has got really great planning, you can see different exercises are meant to be pushed. And other exercises such as holding the plank, holding the hip bridge, doing maybe flutter kicks, okay, there are exercises just to fill in, to work on different elements of fitness. Got it? So more on conditioning, more on stabilization, more on balance, single leg deadlifts, for example. All right. So they do different things, and that fit in together will form a workout. Okay. So it's not squat, jump, squat, jump, squat, jumps all the way through. That is a perfect workout, but it can only last for 10 minutes and then you're done. But nobody likes a 10-minute workout. Okay. And there's no variation. It's really boring to do. You probably won't want to do it again because it's so tough that you want to go to the toilet right away after you finish it. Okay. So with variation, we keep programs fun. And with fun programs, you often see different elements of fitness coming in together to create an all-rounded workout. Okay. So then we have, yes, Vivian, so others will act as active recovery. That is right. So it's not just stay there, rest for 5 minutes. Okay, so same thing. If you are seeing me on the screen, I'm sitting down there for 5 minutes. Are you going to stay in the session? No, you're going to quit and you're going to go do something else. Okay, so we want to keep participants engaged, and that's when we do other stuff. Yeah, so that we train you, all rounded, and we get fitter after that. Okay, so another question. Always doing HIIT, need to add in other types of exercises like aerobic yoga. That is true. All right, I like that question. You are correct. So you shouldn't be doing HIIT every single time, every single day. Why? Because HIIT is very high impact. Number one. Okay, high impact exercises means a lot of stress on your joints. If you're jumping every single day, how much can your knee take? Yep. How much can your ankle take? How much can your hip and lower back take? You need to allow some time for recovery. And when you're recovering, you can do other exercises that doesn't require impact. For example, you could do stretches exercises. You could do strength circuit. So strength circuit usually wouldn't involve a lot of cardiovascular movements or very high pace movements. We're more focused on the tension of the muscles. How well are you able to contract your muscles in a slow motion? Are you able to do things slowly? Are you able to hold the wall hold? All right, squatting down and holding in the squat hold position. Are you able to hold your plank? Are you able to hold an advanced plank? So these are the things that we do differently from a high intensity interval training program. And they are massively different. Okay, so when you look at, sometimes I believe so that you do not understand when you see, the different exercises, you don't know what's going to happen. And that's why you don't dare to, or you just never thought of registering for them. So I would then encourage everyone to explore, all right, different workouts and try them all, even dance. For guys, dance, I tell you, like, for me, initially, I'm like, what dance, what Zumba, right? What all this piloxing. So don't tell me all that. But then I realized coordination is also one great element in fitness. If you're able to coordinate yourself, okay? Looking at left and right side, your brain thinks. So fitness is not just about muscles, it's about the brain as well. Is your brain able to see, or your eyes, when it sees it, are you able to replicate the same movement? And that's coordination. Okay? And there's also a lot of elements of balance in all this dance, inspired fitness or dance fitness workouts. Yeah, balance, one key thing as we get older. Okay? For my seniors, always working on balance training. And I believe if you start from young, or Start as early as you can, like right now. In the later years of your life, your risk of falling is going to be greatly reduced. Okay, so try it out. Okay, let's see any other questions. Difficult to do burpees. How can I use these factors to improve? Okay, so this one, let me come to it later at the end. Okay, so if I forgot, send this question to me again. I'm going to do it at the end. Okay, so now let's look at realistic applications for the factors that I've demonstrated earlier on. Number one thing is time. How much time you have for workouts. Okay, so some of you may not have the time or the luxury of time to do a workout every single day, especially if it's 1 hour. Uninterrupted 1 hour. Some of you who are really busy with work cannot afford to do it. But can you then allow yourself 5 minutes? If you can have 5 minutes, you can warm up for 2 minutes. You do a 1 minute workout and then you cool down for 2 minutes and then you go shower. If you're able to do that, great. So what do you do during that 1 minute? Okay. So it could be a full body exercise such as burpees. Yep. So burpees is a full body exercise involving a squat, involving a thruster, and up again. So that's a full body workout. Okay, so let's say again, another example of a 5 minute workout. You warm up for a minute, doing your joint rotations. Okay, always warm up, always warm up, no matter what, no matter how easy the exercise it is, always warm up. 1 minute, joint rotations, and then you go into 1 minute of squat jumps, 1 minute of plank, 1 minute of lunges, cool down. So again, as many reps as you can. So then you only have 3 minutes of very, very, very high intensity work that brings that heart rate up. Okay, do it with good form and your workout is done. It is better than not doing it at all. Okay, so once a day, this is my challenge to you. Once a day, bring your heart rate up. Once a day, just one time. It doesn't have to be 1 hour. And you can see that improvement, that significant improvement that you're going to make over the next month just by doing this 5 minutes every single day. Okay, for some of you who have got a lot more time, you can do 5 minutes maybe 3 times a day or 10 minutes 3 times a day. So you can see the endless possibilities that you have when you're doing your workouts. Okay, so a lot of people are very limited in their possibilities. I need an hour to work out. That's a statement that they have in their mind, but that's not true. Okay, you don't need that 1 hour to do it. And all the more, even before COVID, you spend 3 hours to work out. 1 hour to travel to the gym, spend 1 hour in the gym, 1 hour to go back home. So that's 3 hours. And that's insane, man. I tell you, 3 hours to work out, too much. Okay, so now it's being reduced to 1 hour, and 1 hour sometimes is even not enough time. So what about 5 minutes? Start with 5 minutes. Yep. All right, then let's go on to the third point there on the slide. Progress only when we've done a few workouts. Yep, then this is very critical, okay? So progression or improvement in the body doesn't happen after one session. It does take time. And after an exercise, most likely on the next session, if you're doing it subsequently every single day on the next program, your performance will dip because your muscles are still recovering and adapting, trying to recover from the last exercise. Okay, so you always want to have that patience to allow it to recover. Plan your programs nicely. You don't want to be doing like 3 sessions in a day and then rest for 2 days. That's insane, right? 3 sessions in a day. Why do you want to do that? The quality of movements are going to suffer if you do 3 sessions in a day, but rather you can split it up into 1 session a day for 3 consecutive days. That will work so much better. You get what I mean? So having that wise decision, okay? Learning how to plan it in, slot it in your timetable, make time for stuff that is really important to you. Yep. And that will create a big change in your daily calorie expenditure and also in your results for fat loss. Yeah. So the fourth point is that performance always changes. So sometimes you tell me, JJ, I can do push-ups, but then afterwards, 2 days later, how come my push-up rep dropped? Okay, so it's not a machine. It is not like maths question, right? Where you keep adding 1 + 2 + 3 + 4 + 5 all the way up. It will fluctuate like the stock market. Okay. But over time, when you look at a midterm or even a short term to a long term progress, is it improving? So if it's improving, it's always improving and increasing your daily calorie expenditure and your metabolic rate. Okay. I just want to remove all of this rate drawings again. Okay. And the next one is tracking your sleep, food timing, workouts. So different activities during the day. Exercise, most of the time, people are just focused on that 1 hour. And then after that 1 hour, they go do anything, whatever they want, flexibly. And that would really sabotage their own results, because you're doing so well in that hour. And then for the other 23 hours, you're not sleeping well, you're not eating well, you're under a lot of stress during work. And all this contributes to, just compromising on the results that you have done, in the 1 hour of exercise. Okay. So create good habits, good lifestyle patterns to help you with your goals. Okay. Especially on improving your metabolism. Okay. So let's say, knee pain, consequence of high intensity interval training. Yeah, that could happen. Okay, so just sidetracking a little bit, answering some questions in the chat. Knee pain in high intensity interval training do happen because if the knee is not strong enough to handle the exercise that you're doing. Okay, always learn to scale it down. So for example, you can't do forward squat jumps. All right, just setting an example, not saying that you can't do it, but if you cannot do forward squat jumps, can you do on the spot squat jumps? So does that put less stress on the knee? Yes, it does. If you can't jump this high in the squat jump, are you able to jump this high in your squat jumps? If you can do that, you're again reducing the stress on the knee. If you cannot even do this again hurts you, can you just do squats without hurting the knee? If you can, then that's great. Okay, so gradually you build up the muscles around the knee, and that's through conditioning exercises. So high intensity interval training does have conditioning benefits, all right, muscle conditioning, but that may not be the main goal of the program. Okay, so when you want to look at strength circuit programs, when you look at different conditioning programs or classes, those will help you create stability around the knee, and that will allow you to then slowly remove that pain or reduce that pain when you are doing high intensity, fast paced exercise. All right, so I would say slow down first, slow down the movement, make sure the pain is managed first. Do not push through pain. Okay, and then slowly strengthen it. How can I improve my sit-up? Okay, so then we have, at the end of the session, burpees, sit-up, I will demonstrate them. Okay, burpees and sit-ups, huh? Okay, let's go on to the next slide first. So here we go. High intensity interval training, burning more total calories, elevating metabolic heart rate, keeping to less than 30 minutes of work. This is all, like a trend right now that we all see, and we know the benefits of it. But are there limitations to high intensity interval workout? Okay, like knee pain, right? So with knee pain, are you able to push as hard as you like? You probably can't. So that is a little compromise already. And when you're compromising it, you can't go as fast as you can because of pain, and because you don't want to further injure yourself. Is it then the most effective exercise or the most effective workout that you can do to help to increase your daily calorie expenditure? I would say no. We probably want to choose something that has got a slightly longer duration. Okay, for example, cycling that does not have any impact on the knee, and go for a longer duration, such as 1 hour, 1.5 hours, 2 hours, if you have the luxury of time, to burn or create the same amount of calories. And even by going a lot faster in spin classes, okay? Not out in the park sprinting, okay? Don't do that. It's very dangerous, and not even on the roads, okay? So don't go fast when you're cycling. Always look out for your safety first. But if you're doing on a stationary bicycle in the gym, you can go as fast as you like. Does it still create the same effect as a high intensity interval training? Yes, it does, because your heart rate is going to shoot through the roof. Yep. So change around different alternatives to high intensity interval training if you find that there are certain limitations to what you can do. So another example would be burpees. You can't do burpees no matter what. You don't have the strength yet to do burpees. So can you then substitute burpees with another exercise to do? You probably can. Okay, so find another exercise, for example, lunges or squats, or just holding on to something and then performing a different sort of exercise that increases your heart rate. Okay, so all of that could then sort of shift around. You want to just walk around that limitation that you have when you're doing high intensity interval training. Okay, and the next thing is, if your fitness foundation is not strong enough, right, you're going to find that in the high intensity interval training, you are not able to get your heart rate high enough to reap the benefits of high intensity interval training. So what you can do would be to aim for 30 minutes to 45 minutes, even an hour of continuous steady state cardio first, all right, just to improve on that heart rate or improve on your cardiovascular fitness. Number two is to work on strength training so that you're now strong enough to do the challenging exercises that it's happening or that's planned in your high intensity interval training. Okay, so when you have good technique, a base amount of cardiovascular fitness, then high intensity interval training would work for you, and that would save you a lot of time. But before that, make sure you've got these two covered. All right. Okay, so here I demonstrated a little bit just now, compared a few common ways. So then I would like to hear from you all, what can you improve on when you do your next high intensity interval training? Okay, just type it in the chat. Perhaps you have got something to share, and it's good to hear it from different perspectives. All of you are participants out there, I'm sure you have got some same common issues. What do you think you can improve on when you do your next high intensity interval training? Just type it in the chat. Let's go. I'd like to read what you have to say as well. Yeah, so I'll give you all some time, a minute or two, just type it out. In the meantime, I'm just going to drink some water while I wait for everybody to share. Bigger movements, nice. Range of motion, that's good. Yep. Carol and Debbie, same question, same answer. Longer duration, less impact on joints. Oh, that's nice. Okay, so that's a good alternative. If you find that, pains coming in through the joints, especially on shoulders and knees, yeah, change it up. All right, do it longer, but reduce the impact. Weight vest. I see weight vest. Come on. Oh, weight vest assists higher heartbeat. Definitely, but it's quite an advanced, technique. So deal with your body weight first. Only when you're able to confidently do it with your body weight and still feel like you have not done a workout after the whole hour, then you may want to consider a weight vest. But even myself, right now for me, I do not use a weight vest. Okay, I do not use it. Faster tempo is good. Yep, just increase that pace with good range of motion and technique. More reps within the same duration. Nice. Will we be gaining weight or no decreasing in the beginning because we have muscle? All right, good question. Gain muscle. Do you gain weight? Yes, you do. All right. You have more muscle. If you still have the same amount of fats, you will gain weight, provided if you eat the same. All right. So, okay, let me tell you one thing. For beginners, right, unconditioned, untrained individuals, are you able to gain muscle and burn fat at the same time? Very likely, yes. So you will see your weight stagnant for a while, or even go up for a little while. And once your muscles, are reaching up to its optimal level, I'm not saying excessive muscles like this, okay? Optimal levels of muscles to allow you to have the strength to do the exercises that are required to do to bring that fat down. Then yes, the weight it's gonna go like this, and then it's gonna drop. Boom. Okay. And of course, it doesn't go straight down. It will go in a wave pattern, up and down, up and down. You see some plateaus along the way. Water retention may be settling in. Hormonal cycle may change, especially for ladies. So weight and fat loss is not a straight line. Yep. Improving form. Yeah, that's really important to improve form. Endurance, 1 hour workout, putting on weight. Okay, all right, really good question here. Okay, I think some of you may also have got this issue. Okay, let me just repeat the question again. 1 hour workout every day, expending more calories than before, but instead putting more weight. Okay, crave snacks, and you want drinks, you want sugary stuff, right? So I would say decrease your workout. That's number one. Okay, number one, decrease your workout first, because all this cravings is because the body is demanding it, because then you're not putting in so much effort in exercising that you're not recovering fast enough. So your body wants more food going in, and you're just confused, right? Because you want to lose weight, but the body keeps wanting to eat more, and then you sort of cave into it. Willpower is only limited. You can only say no to a number of times, and then after that you start to put it in, and then you feel like, why did I even do it? Right? And then your weight doesn't even move. So this is a cycle. It's a wrong, huge cycle. We just go around the hamster wheel. So things to take note. Number one, decrease your workout first. Okay. Number two, improve and get fitter first. So doing more doesn't mean you'll get fitter. Choose the right nature of workout to get fitter. Get stronger and get fitter first, and not just blindly do workouts. Okay. Have a goal in mind when you're doing your workouts. Am I here to get stronger? Am I here to build upper body strength? Am I here to build up my core stability so then I can perform, certain exercises better? And that's your aim when you want to do your workouts, when you do certain workouts. All right. So different individuals may come into the same workout having different objectives. Okay. So if you missed out on my previous talk, the first one, training priorities, I've explained it a little bit. I mean, go back and check out the replay. Okay, so I'm not gonna go too much into it. So recap, reduce, be aware, and you'll start to see your cravings go away. All right, once craving go away, eat healthily so that you're full. Eat more whole foods until you're full, and you will see, with the decrease in calorie intake, okay, because now you're eating better, your calorie expenditure also may drop a little bit, but that's fine. As long as you're training, you should still see a net deficit that allows you to drop your weight. Okay? All right, next question. Tabata, HIIT, is there any difference? Yes, there is. Tabata is a strict 20-second, 10-second off. 20 seconds work, 10 seconds off, 8 sets, done for the day, 4 minutes only. HIIT, flexible. So it could be 1 minute on, 10 seconds off, 30 seconds on, 10 seconds off, 30 seconds on, 15 seconds off. That's high intensity interval training. It goes up and down, but there's no fixed timing. Tabata is fixed, 20-10. Range of motion, effectiveness, good. Push yourself. Yes, push yourself. Sometimes it's just the mindset. You're just not pushing yourself because you may have injuries before, but it has recovered. And you're so afraid to injure it again, so you don't ever push yourself. Okay, so that's the other thing. Yeah, regression, normal, and progression. Good. So depending on certain exercise, we always talk about beginner, intermediate, and advanced. But is that true that somebody is a beginner, intermediate, advanced? No. I may be doing a lot of squats, okay? And my squats are advanced, but I'm not doing a lot of push-ups. So my push-ups are beginner. So you cannot label an individual based on just one thing. Okay, so you want to always change around your options when you're doing different workouts based on what the instructor gives you. Okay, various options. Start the workout a month ago, put on 3 kg, you're eating too much. Okay, control what you're having, and sometimes it's just water. If it's only short term, don't worry too much. But if it's long term, look at how you're managing your stress, your sleep, and your eating habits. Replace okay, you may ask it later on in the chat. Gain weight easy, lose weight is difficult. No, that's not true. It's all in the mindset. First thing in the morning, boost metabolism. It depends. Okay, you can exercise morning or night, doesn't really matter. Which one would allow you to perform better, either morning or night? You do that. Okay, good way to start. Exercising, starting exercise, cardio or stretch. Focus on cardiovascular fitness, steady state cardio 30 minutes, and focus on strength training. Okay, so all questions answered. All right, but later I'm going to show you burpees and sit-ups later. So let's move on to slides first. So limitations, just quickly go through. We've covered it, most of it really. So strength, endurance, muscular power are lacking. You can't perform the exercise. And that's when, you cannot. HIIT is just not very effective. Okay. Technique execution. So you have, a burpee into a squat jump. All right. And some of you are not able to perform the exercise in a smooth motion. You find that you're only doing 2 reps in 20 seconds. Is that going to be effective? No. Okay. So technique execution as well. And then the mindset is, does HIIT feel like it's going to end? It's never going to end, right? It's like, keep going on forever, even though it's only 5 sets. Yep, it's only 5 sets, but it feels like, wow, eternity. Okay, 1 minute of plank feels like an hour. All right, so change that mindset, then you're going to see improvement in your fitness level, which then leads to a greater rate of fat loss. Water retention be a source of not losing weight even though you exercise and control diet. Water retention doesn't happen chronically, I believe. For a period of time, maybe like a day or 2, yes, but not across 3-4 months. Okay, so yep, water retention is not an indicator of whether you cannot lose weight or not. All right, so alternatives to HIIT, steady state cardio, resistance training. These 2 are the main foundations. If you're a beginner, right there in the chat, set up strong fitness foundation allows you to perform advanced programs. Okay, effectively. So we always talk about effectiveness. If it's not effective, why spend the time to do it? Okay, build that up, slowly bring it up. So here we go. That big bulk of it, 70%. How can we increase it? Okay, but here's a quick question first. Okay, so answer this question. When somebody loses weight, does his BMR, basal metabolic rate, increase or decrease? Type it in the chat. When an individual loses weight, decrease or increase? Dun, 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 dun. Okay, actually this question is flawed, okay? I admit this question is slightly flawed because I didn't give you the indicators. So no matter what you type, it is correct. Okay, so let's hear from me, okay? Loses weight. If the person loses weight but gain muscle or maintain its muscle mass, maintainer, we want to look at fat-free mass. Okay, so amount of muscle that you have. All right, if the muscle remains the same, there is no change in your basal metabolic rate. Most likely, there's no change. Okay, we're not talking about physical activity here. We're just talking about that green little chart right there. Your body reactions or functions that are keeping you alive, that will not change. Okay, your heart stays the same, your lungs, all of that chemical reactions, immune system all performs the same, so that doesn't change. What changes would be your muscle mass. The more muscle mass you have, the higher your basal metabolic rate. Okay, so if the muscle mass remains the same, everything else remains the same. If your muscle mass decreases as you lose weight, because you're just doing so much cardio, you didn't focus on strength or resistance training, your muscle mass drops along with your body fat, boom. And you measure yourself, you're still at 30% body fat when you started, and when you have lost 10 kg, your body fat is still at 30%. Chances are you're going to see your 4-digit number, which is your resting metabolic rate, decrease. Okay? So when it decreases, then how? Right? You say, JJ, I cannot eat so much anymore, and now I've lost weight. I can only eat half of what I ate, which is only this much. And that's not enough for me, all right? I cannot even go to parties. At parties, I only drink water, and sometimes I cannot even eat. So is this the life that you want? Probably not. So then what can you do? Increase your muscle mass. Ta-da! Okay, so increasing muscle mass, different benefits. Number one, allows you to eat more flexibly because now you have got a higher rate of metabolism. Number two, it allows you to look better. Okay, so muscles creates tone. When you have a smaller amount of fat, your muscles will start to show. So when you start to move around, you can see now here there is some form of muscle tone right here on the arm. Okay, and even in the legs, even in your abs. So but first focus on increasing your muscle mass. So we're talking about just optimal amount of muscle, not excessive muscles. And optimal muscles will, sort of protect your joints, prevent pains and aches, build up better posture. When you're sitting upright, are your shoulders able to sort of hold it back? Are you able to stand and sit confidently when people look at you? Yeah, so all this kind of stuff. It's done with optimal amount of muscle mass. Okay. And non-exercise activity. So what can you do more of to move more during the day? So these are the things that we often hear about, just stop one stop earlier and just walk to the office, cycle to the office, back and forth, walk instead of taking the bus. So a lot of times right now as kids, you see a lot of people doing kick scooters and all that. That would just greatly reduce the amount of calories being burnt. So just having better habits, all right? Even bicycles are now turning into e-bikes. So that's, mode of transportation has now, expenditure has all dropped. So always focus on what can you do to move more during the day, okay? And the second part is determined by your weight and your genes. Energy needed for vital body functions such as breathing, heart beating, immune system, and all that kind of stuff cannot be changed. So what you can only change is by moving more. So as you move more, you also want to make sure that you do not move more to the point where, your muscles are stressed up and it affects your performance on the next few days. Okay, so non-exercise, that could happen as well if you're just not used to walking for 20 kilometers, for example, and then you go for a hike, 20 kilometers hike. Okay, it's not an exercise, it's just non-exercise activity, just going out with your friends, leisure walk, and then next few days you can't walk, right? Because the muscles are so sore. So always balance it out, and that would be your metabolic rates. So now I'll just like to do a quick. Okay, wait, one question. What causes cramp? Cramp could be so warm up, that's one thing. Muscles are cold and you sort of stress. So what are cramps is just involuntary contraction of the muscle. So it could happen when you're not warm up nicely, the muscles are cold and you're just going really hard into the workout and that causes a cramp, or it could be just electrolyte imbalances in the muscles. Okay, that could also cause cramp. All right, dehydration could also cause cramp. Okay, so I'm just going to do quick 2 exercise demonstration on how to work on your burpees and your sit-ups. Okay, so everybody here can see me. I'm just going to show you a quick way to learn how to do burpees nicely. Burpees is a combination of 2 movements. Movement number 1 is a squat. Movement number 2 is with your palms down and you step back. Okay, and then you step forward and then you come back into the squat and you stand up. So that is a burpee. So you need to learn how to shift your weight from your feet to your hands. So when your weight is on your hand, see the shoulders shoulders above your palms. You can now move your feet slowly backwards, okay? And move your feet slowly forward. Back onto your feet, stand back up. All right, so I'm exaggerating a bit just to show you how to shift your body weight. So palms on again. Remember to squat first. So you always want to bend your knees going down. Shift the weight forward, jump back or step back, and then step forward. Come back into the squat, stand back up. So this is a good way to start to learn burpees. Okay? Learn how to shift your weight from the feet to your palms. And always keep your core stable as you go back. So here, most of the time this may happen, or this may happen. Hips in line with the shoulders at all times as you move your feet back and forth. Okay? So sit-ups, how do you improve your sit-ups? When you lie down, you tell me, JJ, I cannot get out, I'm stuck here, and I need to go back down, and I'm stuck here again, and I have to go down, okay? So one thing is this, when you're doing sit-ups, which are looking like this, the main muscle that is worked are your hip flexors. So it's this muscle right here. It's not your core, all right? The core only moves up to here. And what you move next is your hip flexor. So this muscle is weak. To strengthen this muscle, what you can do is have something heavy, just sort of hold it with your feet, so to anchor the weight down. Then you're able to come up, okay? Or you could put it perhaps under the chair, under the table, something under the sofa, okay? Something that helps you to anchor the feet down. And that allows you to do your sit-ups nicely. All right, so some of you may also be doing sit-ups with your heels too close to the bum. This is a recipe for not able to complete your sit-ups because there's now more weight on the top than the bottom. Even for me, I cannot get up, right? But when my legs are here, I now distribute my weight evenly on my legs and my top. And now I can come up easily. Okay, so it's a matter of technique and how you shift your legs. All right? And have that anchor point at the bottom right there. Always keep the tension on the front of the core before you come back up. Got it? So these are the two questions that you all have on sit-ups and burpees. Okay, so last question here. Good mixture frequency of HIIT dance toning class per week, depending on what you want to work on. Okay, so at first try it out, ratio 1:1:1. So if you're doing 3 sessions, 1 of each. Okay, and once you find that, okay, maybe on HIIT sessions I am not so good at it yet because I'm not strong enough. Okay, so you take that out, you put in a strength training session here. So you do dance, you do toning, and you do strength. Okay, so that's 3 sessions. You do it for maybe 2-3 weeks, and then you try again the HIIT session. And if you could get better, good. Okay, then you start doing your HIIT sessions. You take out the strength for some time. Okay, and once you find that HIIT sessions are starting to plateau again, like I'm not really seeing progress on my HIIT, then you bring down the HIIT, bring up the strength again. Okay, so you always want to change between your strength training and your high intensity interval training. As a guideline that I recommend to my own clients, okay, because I see them almost every day, it's about 3 weeks, I will switch it up. 3-week cycle. So 3 weeks on strength, 3-week high intensity, 3-week strength, 3-week high intensity. It's just building that up. Okay, strengthen your hip flexors. One way to do it's working on your leg muscles. So just lifting up your knee will work your hip flexors. All right, doing leg raises will work your hip flexors. Doing flutter kicks will also improve on your hip flexor muscles. Yeah. Age, is it a limit? Nope. Age is not a limit. Age does not matter as much. Metabolism may reduce as you age, but that's because muscle mass is also going down. Okay. Tracking muscle mass and fat percentage separately, tracking then weight only. Yeah, that's right. So good question here. Tracking, okay, knowing your weight is one thing. Knowing what's going on with your weight is another thing. So you may be the same weight throughout, but are you dropping fat and gaining muscle? If that is, you are definitely seeing progress with your body. Okay, so the scale doesn't say everything. Look at pictures as well. So you want to take a front view, a side view of the self, even a back view. You could now start to see muscle definition coming out when your fat percentages drop. Even if you gain or lose weight, doesn't matter. Okay, I think what matters is how you look, right? My forehead doesn't tell me how heavy I am, so it shouldn't bother you as well. How do you know I did the sit-ups right? Okay, so that's why you need to find a coach to tell you. Okay, so set an appointment with a coach or just a friend that you trust that knows how to do sit-ups, and he or she can spot for you. Good. So with that, yep, I thank you all, everybody, for joining in today's session. I hope you like it, and just do a quick survey if you can. If you like today's session, click it in the link, which is right there. And I will see you all next time talking about cardio versus strength. Which one is better? Okay. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So then we have, okay, another question. Replace protein drink. Okay, so protein and all that. Yep, leave it to the nutritionist. Okay. So I think I'm not in a good position to answer this question. Yeah. So send it in. Let somebody who talks about nutrition, the next presenter, answer your question. All right. So thank you again. I will see you all soon. Bye bye.